good exposition episode. Yo, what's up, Crocs and Clan members, Pokemon fans? We're here to talk about episode 57 of Pokemon Horizons. So let me just say, I love the exposition, the world building that this episode had. Okay, I don't know why these last couple episodes have been. I think they're okay. Okay, besides the two people battle, okay, where they had Roy and Dot share an episode. Like, for the most part, this arc hasn't been terrible, right? I think it's a slight improvement over the second one. To some extent, I still think the second one might be the best one so far, but at least up to this point, it's at least better than the first one. Okay, the first arc obviously is like the first arc, so there's always going to be issues with it. But actually, I can't even say that because the second arc, I don't like the later half. Anyways, that's what the fuck is this talking about? Soresan, come on, talk to me about this episode. Okay, I don't give a fuck about where you rank this shit right now. But listen, okay, we're basically practically almost done with this arc. Oh, I guess we're leading into like the second half of the arc. And this episode was like a good like cutoff point, which is amazing. Okay, so overall, Radford, right? The fucking history teacher. I'm glad that they're showing her off, right? Because obviously the whole point of this episode is to try to get some information about the lore of Terapagos, right? And Lucius, if they can. And about Rockwa, okay, let's be honest here. Because like Free ends up going with the kids to meet Clavel and Gita, and she's like, well, we got this, fancy ass Pokemon, and Gita even shows them like the terrestrial form and the stellar form of Terapagos. Like, well, this is what it looks like in its battle form, and this is known as like the third form of Terapagos from back in the day. But like, realistically speaking, even Gita and Clavel have no idea what the fuck Rakua is. And she's like, I don't know, and then Clavel's like, well, if we're talking about history here, like considering this was like 100 years ago, there's only one person I know, and then like that's where Radford comes in. It's like, I'm the history buff in this school. I know everything. Like, you need to know something about the past. I'm with you. I got this information all in my head. Okay. Radford for me doesn't really work in the sense of like, I play Pokemon Violet. Okay, let's say this. I like Miraidon more than I like Koraidon, and I love Purple more than I like Orange. So I went with the Purple game with the cool like electric bike dude. Okay, that's my game. And honestly, as a history buff, I don't think that Radford really worked in the game because Violet's about the future and Radford's about the past. And so like they try to like mesh her into something that's for the future. That doesn't fucking work because she's a history buff. Okay, but I like the fact that they used her in this episode, and she actually felt like she belonged, right? The one concern I have with them now adding all these other characters that they probably will feel just forced in, but she actually works in the context because this whole time we're trying to get a feel and understanding of what the fuck Terapagos is, right? So who better to tell us than somebody whose whole purpose is to be involved in like the history and the creation of what Paldea is. So I'm hoping we see more of her in the future, especially if we start getting into like the Treasures of Ruin stuff, which I'm assuming we're going to get to at some point in the series, okay? I hope they have her involved for that. Whatever, if that's like a mini arc or something, or like just like a specials. Like, I hope they do that with her. Because I like that the fact that they looked for somebody who would, works in this context, and we're able to like have her shown off, right, and in a good light, right. I do recall something about this particular episode, and it's not something that happened like during like the release, like this weekend, right. This is something that I had heard a couple weeks back when like the first like glimpses of what this episode was supposed to be about, is that people were talking about Liko catching a Charcadet, and then like Roy potentially catching a Gimmighoul, and I don't know why people got that inclination, because the only thing that I think people were basing it off of is the fact that they show the Charcadet, I don't even know if that's the way you fucking call the thing, like riding Terapagos in like some like snapshot that somebody posted, and then the fact that Roy was chasing a Gimmighoul. So I don't know why that, just because a Pokemon is around them doesn't mean they're gonna catch it, right? We've seen Pokemon of the days before. The Pokemon's just important for that episode, and it doesn't necessarily mean someone's gonna catch it. Like I think people are missing the mark of when a capture is obvious, right? But this is obviously coming from someone who's been watching this franchise for 20 plus years of his life. So maybe I just know the signs, but I wasn't expecting it, and I knew it wasn't gonna happen the moment they started talking about all this lore shit, right? This is literally just a lore heavy dump episode, nothing more, all right? And I loved about it. I loved the fact that they did that, and like Radford was talking about like the way the Paldea used to be, and they even talking about the fucking ruins and the watchtowers and the reasons for the watchtowers existing, and how the kings used to have them so they could monitor all the other fucking countries, and talking about how before the Orange Academy was where it was, before all shit was Paldea, it was something completely different. And they even had a cool ass fucking scene, okay, where they were in the watchtower, and like Terapagos is so hyped up and emotions like driven, like climbs into like the portion of like the watchtower, and then like Ligo just gets a vision of Terapagos in its other form with Lucius watching over the, looking into the horizon and shit like that. Bruh, that got me, okay? That got me. Lucius, I don't know, man. I still think you're a fucking shitty ass trainer for abandoning your Pokemon, okay? I'm gonna sit here and stand by that fact, but that scene was cool, okay? There's two other things I want to talk about this particular episode that were interesting to me, obviously, as a viewer. The first one is, they did my boy Roy dirty, okay? They had this man being hypnotized by the Gimmighoul. It's like, oh, you found me a coin, and then like this bitch like goes out and like has his whole hat is just overflowing with coins because everybody's like looking for them, but Roy's the only one that finds them. And then when they get to the watchtower, there's the Gimmighoul like chest form in there, and the bitch just steals all his coins and then dips. And I'm like, you did not just do that to my boy Roy, okay? He didn't deserve this. What is this travesty that did this to this man? But the other thing that I want to talk about, and this is the more like cool part and the most enjoyable part for me, obviously, is the way they handled Radford's Zoroark. Okay, listen. You need to see this from my point of view. Okay, as somebody who's been watching Pokemon for so long, right? I've seen my fair share of Zoroarks in the franchise, okay? I remember the Zoroark from the movie, right? That one was, that was a mother protecting his child, so it was obviously going to be like a rampaging asshole, right? Just because she had to protect his baby, right? I'm pretty sure there was another one in black and white, but I don't truly, can't picture it in my head right now. And the other Zoroark I recall is Gladion Zoroark from Sun and Moon, and that one was all business, strictly business. Like, I am here to take care of shit, and obviously Gladion knew how to use Zoroark, so that was fucking wild. Okay? But for the most part, every Zoroark we've seen up to this point has been more on the serious side, or more the dark intentions behind what Zoroark is. But this one was like a goofball. She's like, oh, I'm just gonna be a little trickster here. I'm gonna be transforming into Terapagos. I'm gonna make Captain, I'm gonna get Cap all jealous and pissy and shit, and the bitch jumped on top of Free just to be like, I'm Cap now, and she fucking crushes him. It was hilarious. And then it was just a trolling mon. He even trolled us a little tiny Gimmighoul on Fuegogo. This Zoroark was adorable as fuck. Okay, I'm just gonna say that. I love me when they showed different personalities in Pokemon. So I mean, they're gonna get me there. Okay, they were gonna get me there. Okay, I'm just saying. But I really like this episode. I'm gonna say this, and this might sound controversial for me personally speaking, because when it comes to Pokemon, I've made it clear what kind of episodes I really enjoy. But in terms of anime, some of my favorite episodes in anime are the ones that actually expand on the lore of the region, the place, location, wherever the fuck the anime is taking place. I really like lore dump episodes because it helps the world feel alive, right? So I think this is, and again, this is gonna be weird coming from me, but I think this is definitely, just because of the way they handle it and what the episode was representing, this might be on my upper range of favorite episodes of the series. And it's strictly because it really brings Paldea to life, right? In my opinion, Radford really made this episode for me. Okay, I think that's what the bottom line of this is. I think Radford really made this episode for me. And the lore dump that she did, and the constant explanation of what the region used to be like, it gives you a sense of, you can imagine what it was like to live in those times. The way she was explaining it, And I gotta say, that's one of the reasons why I really like the Lucius and Tropico's like flashback scene. Well, imagination scene, because I don't know if it's really a flashback scene. But it really helps set the tone, because looking at through Riku's eyes, you can vision what Lucius was seeing from the Watchtower way back when, and you see all these buildings and all these stuff that used to exist here, but now it's all in ruins. Because realistically speaking, even if you're playing the games right now, there's really not a lot out there in like the general like where the open world aspect comes in. It's a lot of ruins and a lot of like decrepit areas, right? So it's one of those things where like something used to exist here before that it doesn't now. So this episode really strikes a core in me of like somebody that really just enjoys lore expansion and world building episodes in shows. So I really like the episode. Okay, that's basically the short end of it, right? That's basically it. I really like this episode, and I want to hear what you guys thought about it in the comment section below. As always, I have been your host, SoresanCrockxen, and I will see you guys in future videos, streams, shorts, and everything in between.